Hello, and welcome to Wednesday Words. As I record this, we are in the middle of this national conversation about the accusations made by Professor Christine Ford against Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh about sexual violence when they were both in high school. And as this conversation unfolds, I am hearing a lot of anger in my Facebook feed and in the communities I belong to. I am hearing a lot of women who are really angry about the violence that has been done to them, the way that this conversation so often minimizes the effects of that violence, and the way that we put victims of sexual violence on trial instead of perpetrators. And I'm hearing a lot of people of color who are really angry that part of this conversation is essentially saying it was in high school, why should he continue to pay for it, when so many people of color are in prison for decades for very much less harmful actions committed when they were in high school. And in the midst of all of this anger, I want to offer you this story that I learned from the Hindu tradition. This is the origin story of the goddess Kali. So, Hindu mythology tells of a great battle, a long war, between the demons and the gods. And in the course of this war, all of the male gods have been captured and are being held prisoner by the demons. In the course of this conflict, the demon Shumba hears of the goddess Durga and her great beauty, and sends several of his demon minions to possess her, to bring her back to him, by persuasion if possible, and by force if necessary. So he sends one demon for this purpose, and Durga easily dispatches the demon, and then he sends two more demons, and when they confront Durga, out of Durga's forehead springs the goddess Kali. So Kali is, in her origin, the embodiment of Durga's rage, Durga's justifiable rage at these attempts to possess her against her will. Kali dispatches these other two demon minions, and then Kali and Durga together lead a campaign to rescue the male gods, and the gods are restored. So I think that this story is incredibly useful in moments like this, where there is so much justifiable anger. Because I think that we have this misconception in the Western religious tradition that somehow to be religious or to be spiritual is to not be angry, to rush to forgiveness before we are ready. I don't actually think that that's the true message of the Western religions, but somehow along the way we've gotten this idea that religious people are not angry people. So I think it's helpful to be reminded that in this spiritual tradition in Hinduism, anger, justifiable anger, can actually be personified in the being of a goddess. It is that sacred a thing. Of course, what we do with our anger needs to be considered. We need to use it in ways that are constructive, because as a powerful force, it can be both constructive and destructive. But to those of you who are angry this week, as you're watching these hearings unfold, I want to remind you that justifiable anger is a sacred thing. It is the part of ourselves that knows what is right and what is just, crying out against the ways that the world around us is not right and not just. So if you are in that place this week, a blessing for you in this moment of sacred rage. And if you're a member of my community and you need to talk about that, please get in touch with me. This Sunday, in our service at 10:30, we will be considering white privilege, another source of justifiable anger. So I hope you will join us for that. The service will be led by UU Catskills member Leila Clark. Thank you for watching.